Now that spring is here, not only are we excited to get outside, our pets are too.
And we want to make sure our pets are safe. Joining us today is veterinarian Dr. Andrew Eschner. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Eschner.
Well, thanks for having me.
What are important things for cat owners to remember?
Well, I mean, it sounds obvious, but some tips that will help keep your cat healthy and happy for many years would include great diet, really choosing something that fits well with their lifestyle, age, and in consultation with the veterinarian that can help be achieved. An entertaining, enriching environment, particularly for cats who are forced to stay indoors, which is actually not a bad idea. But cats are very curious, and their prey drive is high, and they love to be entertained. So that would be a key for a long, happy life. Good grooming techniques, particularly for medium to long-haired cats, to help keep that hair out of the way. Also, some of the mundane things like a litter box choice. I mean, how many litter boxes, how high, what kind of contents. Some cats can be very particular about that. And lastly, and I can't really underscore enough, is that cats really need to visit a veterinarian routinely for all the days of their lives, because they are performance athletes that really need some special attention and care. And today we'll talk a little bit about rabies in a few moments.
And there are some know-it-alls out here, so what are some of the biggest misconceptions about cat ownership?
Well, to me, a couple misconceptions include the fact that, hey, I'll get a cat, but I don't really need to do anything after that. I'll put some food down and some water, and good luck, and that's all the care and attention they might receive. And I think that the opposite is true. I mean, they're high-performance machines. They have very unique metabolisms, very different ways of living and acting, and so they really need some direct attention. And again, that includes veterinary care and infectious disease control through vaccination. Also, even though ideally we should be keeping cats indoors, many people falsely believe that just because your cat is an indoor cat or spends primarily most of their time indoors, that they don't need prevention from infectious diseases such as rabies. And there are many instances of rabies in cats that are kept only indoors. When a rabid bat comes down the chimney or whatnot, cats will naturally find that critter and can expose themselves and really come down with rabies if they're not protected through vaccination. So those are two misconceptions that I would like to help clear up.
Okay, while we're talking about rabies, how does rabies affect cats, and how can cat owners help protect their pets?
So rabies is a virus, and it's a worldwide virus, and it's certainly not gone in the United States. It's certainly here. I mean, in 2013, the CDC told us about 6,000 animals came down with rabies. And the thing is that about 8% of those 6,000 were in domestic animals, with a good majority of the domestic animals being in cats. And so we have a real kind of a vulnerability and a gap in what we are achieving with proper rabies control in our feline friends through vaccination. And I'm really here today to make sure we get that word out and vaccinate accordingly. So it's a virus. There's no cure. It's almost always fatal. But it can be prevented through vaccination, and that's a really important key thing to talk to cat owners about.
And what is different about Muriel's PureVax feline rabies vaccines?
Yeah, so the big thing is cats need to be vaccinated for rabies, regardless of the brand choice. Owners should consult with their veterinarian. But a really interesting and great vaccine from Muriel is PureVax feline rabies, which was and is the only vaccine that's tailored and specifically designed for the cat in mind. In fact, it contains no chemical adjuvant. And that's unique because all the other rabies vaccines do. And what a chemical adjuvant does is create a little area of inflammation underneath the skin to help the immune system out. But in some cats, that source of inflammation can be a problem. And so PureVax feline rabies eliminates adjuvant, and so eliminates chronic inflammation. And a lot of veterinarians who are really into cats really like that aspect of PureVax feline rabies. Now, Marielle has created a website called www.purevaxpureprotection.com, which is an interactive little site that allows the cat owner to play a little game called Feline Defense. And along the way, and I played it last night, by the way, along the way the owner can learn more about rabies and how to prevent it through vaccination. And I'd really like to have that viewed frequently.
Okay, so what is the PureVax Pure Protection program?
Well, the program really embodies and encompasses an educational campaign through this website that I mentioned, purevaxpureprotection.com, and it's really a call to action to make sure that cats are getting the care they need through their veterinarian, and that rabies vaccination, and particularly PureVax feline rabies, is something that is thought about when choosing a rabies vaccine for cats. It can't be an option. It really needs to be part of the cat's life until it's over for them. So lifelong prevention of rabies is vital, and I'd like to make sure, if I haven't mentioned that enough times, make sure that's clear.
Veterinarian Dr. Andrew Eschner, thank you for joining us on Coffee with America.
Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me.